Hello, this is Dr. Victoria Scarbell speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I want to talk about the astrology and Kabbalah of December 2018. As you know, each month I do an astrology Kabbalah report using the Tree of Life and numerology and astrology. And this month we are, of course, in the 12th month, and we add the 12 vibration to the 11 vibration, which is the universal year, and we come up with a 23 vibration. And if we add the 2 and the 3 together, we get a 5. So as I denote it when I do my astrology, or my numerology, is a 23-5. So I'm going to pull this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I think you can see this. Let me just. This is. Okay, so we have the 12 and the 11, and we get the 23-5 vibration. And the 23-5 vibration in the Kabbalah is over here. Let's see, can you see that? Okay, yes, you can. All right. Sorry, my camera work is challenging right now. So we have the 23-5 vibration falls in this circle right here. And this circle is called, it's a Sephiroth. That's the official word for the circle. And it is in a Sephiroth called Hokhmah. And Hokhmah is connected to the divine masculine. Last month in 11/11, we were in a 22-4 vibration. And so this path was activated in November. This path connects spirit with the pillar of force. The pillar of force is headed by Hokhmah. Over here we have the pillar of form headed by Bina. This is divine masculine, this is divine feminine. And so we are in the circle, or the Sephiroth, or the environment, as it were, of Hokhmah. And so I want to talk a little bit about Hokhmah and what it means, and then we'll get to the vibration. Hokhmah is a place on the Tree of Life. It is the first Sephiroth after the second. It's the first Sephiroth after the Unity Sephiroth, and so we have Kether. The energy comes down, expresses itself in Kether. Kether is the crown, moves into Hokhmah, and so it is pure force moving into Hokhmah, and Hokhmah is the Sephiroth of force. It's the yang. It's the penetrating energy, the force that in it to a certain extent, spiritually inseminates. Now, Hokhmah is a place of light. There is all light in Hokhmah, and in fact, because it's all light, there is very little contrast, and so it's this expression of light that comes in, and Hokhmah is a place of hidden talents. Hokhmah is a place of challenges and stumbling blocks. And yet those stumbling blocks that you find in Hokhmah become the building blocks of your life. And so if you happen to have one of your major numbers in Hokhmah, you are somebody who has a lot of talents. Sometimes there's so much light that because there's no contrast to that, it's hard to know. It's like being in a really bright room. There's light, but you can't see anything because you're a little, I guess, snowblind in a way. And so there's a sense of sort of feeling your way through, perhaps, in this energy as well. The divine masculine is found in Hokhmah, God the Father. And so this is this energy this month deals with sort of the light shining on things. Hokhmah is a place where you do have hidden talents, and so you don't really know if you can do something until you do it. And so if there's a just do it Sephiroth, it would be Hokhmah. So if there's anything that you have been sort of pondering and wondering, or something you've always wanted to do, this is the month to sort of initiate that energy. Now, we're going to be in the Sephiroth for the whole month of December, and then when January rolls around, we go back on the paths. So one of the things that, can you see this? Yeah. So one of the things that is significant about this month is that this is the first time in a long time that we're actually have landed in one of these circles. If you take the month and the year vibration, since 2000, most of the time spent has been along the paths. Like in 2000, this path here was activated. The year 2000, this path here was activated. And when a January rolled around in 2000, you add January, which is 1, and the 2, and you get 3. And so we were here. January 2000 January 2000, we were along this path. This is the path of the Empress. So the last time we were here was actually 2009, was December of 2009. And before that, the last time we were in a Sephiroth was 1999. Okay, so we haven't spent a whole lot of time in the Sephiroth. Now, what does that mean? Sephiroth is objective experience. The Sephiroth is sort of like an arena of activity. And so there are sort of rules and energies to go by. There are a set of rules. When you're on the paths, there are no rules. The paths are more subjective. The paths are experiential, and sort of there's energy to them. There's patterns of energy. There's patterns and ways of being on the path, things that come at you, but it's how you experience them and how you interact with them that determines your experience. Where here, there's a little bit more of a structure. And so this is the first time we've moved into any kind of structure since 2009. Okay? Now, at the end of 2019, in November, we will be back in this place. And then in December, we'll be in Bina, right here. And we haven't been in Bina since the 90s. So Bina is about gestation. Bina is about development. Bina is about, Bina is the divine feminine. It is the womb of the world. And so we are sort of going through this process from December where we sort of have that male energy of beginning and force and moving in a new direction. And it doesn't really manifest into something that we can touch with our hands, or or know that this is what we've wrought until December of next year. And next year is a 12-3 vibration. And I will talk about next year and 12-3 and all of that. And the 12-3 is connected with the Hanged Man. And so in 2019, the energy is one of surrender. It's one of fostering serenity through the changes. Knowing what you can change and having the courage to do it. Knowing what you can't change and surrendering to it or accepting it, and then the wisdom to know the difference, the serenity prayer. That is 2019. But we're not there yet. We're still working on December. Now, in November, there was a spiritual awakening, an opening, and now in December, that opening starts to take form. But it won't take complete form until December of 2019, where we actually see what this is all about. And so to a certain extent, and we have a lot of work to do in December, so I don't want to skip ahead too much. And then next year, we're moving through the sense of acceptance and surrender and connection to cosmic consciousness. That is the thing that's going to keep us sane next year. But I don't want to talk about that now because we're talking about December. So let me show you 23 over 5 is a 5 vibration, so it's about change. 5 is always about change. But 5 is after 4, and 4 is about building a structure, right? 4 is about structure. We were in a 4-month last month. Crisis, structure, master spiritual builder. So the energy of the master spiritual builder came in November, and now we are here in Hokhmah, in this 5 vibration. And so this is about freedom based on responsible action. And so if you just think you can do whatever you want and not be responsible, that is not what this 5 is about. But this 5 is about change. And so things are changing, and we will feel the shift and the change. Now, as far as the card associated with this particular vibration, this 23/5, it's the King of Wands. And I don't have a picture behind me, so I will pull it out of the deck. Hopefully it's not the last one. It wasn't. For a change. Okay, we have the King of Wands here. And the King of Wands is connected to the sign of Aries in the way that I work with the Kabbalah. It is the first decan of Aries, so it's the first 10 degrees of Aries. And the first 10 degrees of Aries is ruled by Mars. Okay, it's ruled by Mars. Each decan, the first 10 is ruled by Mars, the second decan is ruled by the Sun, the third decan is ruled by Jupiter. And so, of course, Aries is a Mars energy, but this first decan of Aries is a double Mars energy. Kings are about dominion and having dominion over your sort of realm, okay? You are an authority figure when we're in Kings. So this is about responsible action. But the King of Wands is an interesting king because while he is a responsible king, he is also has his eye on the future, on the next thing, on the next battle. He's a restless king, and so there's a restlessness. We'll feel a restlessness this month, even as we take dominion or as we take control of our lives, deciding the direction that we want to go in. Now, we also have to take into consideration that Aries is initiatory. There's a certain amount of trial and error with Aries for anybody who knows an Aries. And so it really does take a lot of discernment, really, to work with the Aries energy and not bang your head too hard. The other thing I want to say, okay, so this is the King of Wands in the Connolly deck. It seems a little less restless. But all the same, he's sort of looking off in a different direction. And so there can be a distracted quality about this king, but he is a king and he's known many battles. And so to a certain extent, the battles that we have experienced over the years come into play now. Like, how have we dealt with that? How have we learned from that? How has it seasoned us? So those are some of the things that this particular energy brings in. Now, what's interesting about December is that for the most of the month, except for the last, I think it's 4 hours if we go by Eastern time, Mars, the planet that rules Aries and the planet that rules this decan of Aries, is in Pisces. Now, we just had a Mars retrograde. This year, it was retrograde in Aquarius, and it was retrograde in Capricorn. Mars retrograde is about considered action. In Capricorn, it's the considered action around how we wield our authority. Are we authorities in our own life? And in Aquarius, it was about group affiliations and letting go of friends and ways of defining yourself and letting go of your traumas and not getting re-traumatized, but bringing them up to heal. And now we have Mars in Pisces. And Mars doesn't like being in Pisces because Mars is about straight lines. In Pisces, I don't know if you've ever seen a fish swim. There's nothing straight about it. There's a meandering quality. One of the keys with Mars in Pisces is that the best way to utilize the energy of Mars in Pisces is to connect with your spiritual warrior nature. And so in December, we are being asked to connect to our spiritual warrior nature, allowing spirit to lead the way, to get into the flow of spirit, And this is sort of a prelude to all of next year, because although certainly Mars doesn't stay in Pisces all year, the energy of Pisces is intimated in the fact that next year is a Hanged Man year. And Hanged Man is connected to Neptune. And Neptune, of course, is the ruling planet of Pisces. And Neptune is in Pisces. So there is a lot of faith that this coming year is going to take. And we're going to get to sort of practice that in December. Okay, so next thing I want to talk about is some of the astrological things that are happening in December that are significant. I will be right back with that.